What's up, everybody? Sorry for the delay, but we are here.
Should I turn my phone the other way?
Up to you, man.
Your call. I'm just reading Ryan's sign back there. The maybe swearing will help.
Often it does.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
this is
watching
not.
a new dog. Um,
You dog sitting?
Uh-oh.
no, I got a new puppy, and he's a handful.
I know what that's like.
Yeah.
Was that Victoria's birthday present?
It was not Victoria's birthday present. Victoria's birthday present was a series of things.
Mexico.
No. Uh, well, that was a present for both of us, but we ended up. I spent a great deal of money on Lady Gaga tickets and the trip that accompanies that for Toronto, and then we committed to Winnipeg Jets playoff tickets and season tickets for next year.
Oh, nice.
If every game goes to Game 7, and they play every game and they make it all the way, that is $10,000.
Wow. At that point, it's an investment.
Yeah, yeah. So you can sell off half of them to make up some money, but I mean, what fun is that?
Especially, you can sell the playoff tickets too and make a killing.
Well, apparently they sold out in 5 minutes for Game 1. So
Who are they playing?
uh, I think St. Louis,
Ah,
Go
so
St. Louis.
easy first round.
Shut up.
Easy first round.
Well, yeah, after we got rid of O'Reilly, Tarasenko, all of our good
We
players.
St. Louis started going downhill when they got rid of Brett Hull.
We did have an insane playoff streak where it was like 20 some years in a row making the playoffs.
Ah,
Yep. I mean, speaking of hockey, how about the Great One's record being broken?
Ovechkin.
hey,
Yeah, I went and saw
they,
him in Winnipeg,
That's insane.
and he
they
was,
say
I think,
records are made to be broken. So
6 goals away when he played in Winnipeg, and we were there for that game, and he got one of them. But yeah, he has broken the record. Here's the
funny
other
to
thing. I
say.
mean, his team is number 2 in the league. So who knows?
Could be.
Yeah. But I think the Jets are going all the way. But enough about hockey. Let's talk about arm wrestling. And I wish
Yes.
Tim was here because I have so many questions.
I didn't watch the event. I was busy all night, so
What are we talking about?
the bicep bash.
It happened. What do you mean? It happened
It
Yeah,
happened
last
yesterday?
night.
yesterday. Yeah.
Oh. So did Scott Steiner beat Uncle John?
Can I guess
I,
the score?
3-2,
I don't
probably.
know. I was at work. I know I talked to Ryan Ballesteros. He pulled Jordan Seal and Jordan won 3-0, but there were some battles. And Leroy Walker beat Saray. That's the only results I knew.
I'm actually a little bit shocked by the Leroy Walker beating Saray. The Jordan still Ryan Ballesteros, I'm not. Jordan's been looking. I mean, look what Jordan just did to Ron Bath. So
I think he's like 240, 245 now.
he's big.
Jordan's looking
Yeah.
good.
I mean, he beat Braun 3-0. So
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we got more to talk about than that too, but I'm going to guess it was a best of 3. I'm going to guess Uncle John won it 2-1.
that's my guess. Does
And
anybody in the chat know the result?
anybody know in the chat know the result of the work that would have happened?
Kayfabe.
Yeah, yeah.
Jake Lee.
I
Talk about the
mean,
Red Wing.
I wouldn't have even believed that Scott Steiner in 1995 would beat Uncle John.
I don't believe Scott Steiner in 1995 would beat a 150-pound person, but
Well, he beat Triple
Well,
H. It looked pretty legit.
he beat who?
Triple H.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
well, we can also touch base on Magna's event. I sent you guys that link from Pradeep that yeah, Crafty just went through Frank Lampereri 3-0.
I mean, Crosby gets in his lane, it's kind of hard to beat him. I mean, he's got pins on Levon inside,
Yeah,
so Crosby's a very powerful human being.
this is true. This is true.
If Uncle John lost, Steiner was supposed to shave Jake Ward's head live on pay-per-view. And Jake Ward was in fact bald when I saw the picture.
What?
So when I
Really?
saw the photo at the end, Jake had clearly had something happen to his hair. A very messy shave job. So I'll see if I can find it fast.
Oh wow.
Maybe Steiner beat him. I'll
Papa
find
Pump.
It is WrestleMania week.
True. This is true.
Yeah, I understand it was eons ago that Crosby beat Levon, but the fact that Crosby was able to beat Levon in a hook is still insane.
I think it happened before Levon is Levon now. I want to say that took place pre top 8, maybe.
That is an insane head shave. What the hell?
That
Wow.
looks like. Yeah, that's a little messy. There it is.
Oh.
I guess Steiner won.
Well, there you go.
Good Lord.
There you go. How does Ozzy's wife feel about that, I wonder?
Well, maybe he's getting a little thin up top and he was planning on
Hey, don't be talking crap on those getting thin up top.
he's getting a little thin
I'm
up
getting
top.
thin up there too. Leave me
And he
alone.
was planning on going for a new look and needed the excuse just to shave it all off.
There you go.
There you go. We had Magda's event
Yes.
last weekend.
Like I said, Krasny 3-0 over Frank Lamparelli.
That's a little
Tyrion lost.
surprising.
Tyrion lost
3-1,
3-1.
but he lost on fouls.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he still lost, and it was yeah. I don't know. That's
Okay, you know
think,
what? This is too much dead space. Let's get to the soapbox. Let's go,
let's
man.
go.
No, we'll go there in a bit.
What?
What are
I
we going
can't
there?
see the comments
Why
right
are
now
we
because I'm on my
hesitating?
phone, but
Why are we
soapbox,
hesitating
soapbox.
for the Nathan's posing routine? Let's
Oh,
do
sorry,
it,
I'm
Jody.
stretching. No, I
Let's
have
go
the soapbox today. Jody knows that.
Let's do it. Let's go. Let's go to it.
You know, something's irritating me a lot lately.
For 8 minutes
And
in, you
it's
can swear if you want.
no, I'm not gonna swear yet. That's 15.
I'll do it for you.
No, you know, something's irritating me a lot lately. And it's this whole weight discrepancy BS. Like if the
What?
yeah, so like if somebody bigger in an open weight class beats the smaller person, oh, that's such a mismatch. Why did they have somebody bigger pulling somebody
Are we
smaller?
talking about Jocelyn again?
Yeah. You know, there's so much negative going on with her and Sarah that everybody's attacking her, going, "Oh, she should be ashamed beating Sarah like that."
Ashamed.
Yeah.
They thought she was the underdog.
Well, Sarah, and the thing is, people don't realize Sarah asked for the match. Sarah requested the match. And then, like, you see all these people going, "Oh, yeah, you know, the size difference. She's just bigger than her. That's why she won." I'm like, nobody said a damn word when a 200-pound John Brzenk was pulling 500-pound Cleve Dean and beating him.
Yep.
Well, there wasn't an internet back then for people to.
I understand, but you know what I mean, though? Like, you took it, okay, let's use a different perspective. When Giannis is beating the super heavyweights, oh, Giannis is so great. But if a super heavyweight beats Giannis, then, oh, well, he's supposed to win. He's a super heavyweight.
You
You
know,
know what I mean?
here's my opinion. At a certain point, there's levels to this thing. Now, honestly, weight, because now I thought about it. I had time to sleep on it. I think weight only matters when you're in the amateur division. Once you get to a certain level, you can throw weight out the window, right? Can we agree to disagree on that?
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, look
yes
at
and no.
I mean, you can look at it this. Look at Prokopchik holding up a huge
Look
what's
at
his
this
name?
one.
What? Yeah, I know, right?
I've never heard anyone like. It's weird when they're in the class. So if the class is 243
Yeah,
and
Kurdacha. Thank you,
over,
Joe Nelson.
if the class is 243 and over,
Mhm.
you are within the class. If somebody's
Yeah.
600 pounds, it doesn't matter. If you're 265, that's who you pull.
Yeah.
That's why it's called open.
Yeah. And
You know.
does it make it any more like, let's say I enter a class at 300 pounds and someone is in there that's 600 pounds and I beat them. No one's ever heard of this person. Does it make it impressive that I beat a 600-pound guy just because he's double my weight?
Only to the people who don't know our sport the way we all know it.
Okay. So the answer really is no. It's not impressive at all. So just weight doesn't really mean a ton.
No, here a great example. Like I was talking to Jody yesterday about. We had a guy come to practice a couple weeks ago. That he's new, like he's green. He weighs like 400 pounds at least, and
Yeah.
he could jump all over me either arm, and I could just hold him no matter what. And it's like, okay, yeah, I'm 180 pounds. Does that make it incredible that I'm beating a 400-pound person? No, he doesn't know what he's doing. Does it make it impressive I can hold him? No, he's green.
Yeah.
Now, if you put me versus Ryan, Ryan's going to kill me because Ryan's a seasoned arm wrestler. It's just that simple. But if I enter the class Ryan's in and he beats me, then he beats me. I chose to pull that class.
Yeah. It makes it it's a weird situation.
Here, I'll give you an example. It's when, and we'll just use this as an example. If I were to go out there and pull Jamie Sheldon, right? And I
Didn't you do
beat
that?
him. What's that?
I said, didn't you do that?
Well, yeah, but here's the thing though. Like if I go out there and beat Jamie Sheldon, then it's like, oh, well, you should have beat him because you weigh X amount of more, weight than he does. But if he turns around and beats me, then it's like, oh, how could you lose to somebody who weighs lighter than you? So
Yeah.
in my situation, it's kind of a, no-win situation. You know what I mean?
And it's
There's a lot of those.
it's an awfully weird thing to talk about because if you have somebody that's,
Well, I mean, like
not a quality 250.
what I what I find funny, Ryan, is in the comments, everybody's like, well, why doesn't Sarah pull somebody in her own weight class? She did. She pulled Egla at 80 kilos, and Egla stonewalled her in the center of the table. It was here, there.
Well, there's not many other people in the world that Sarah can pull. So in this situation, it's even more weird because you have, the usual suspects of people you talk about being in the top four. We're talking like Egla, Gabby, Sarah, and Barbora. And nobody else was in that conversation. And what do most of them have in common? They're super heavyweight girls now. They belong in the heaviest weight class. So the fact that Sarah's even in the mix is a credit to her.
It
Then you
is.
have someone who it's the class she is pulling. She goes and challenges Jocelyn. Jocelyn beats her as she did before to prove it was no fluke and that she's legit. What does Sarah decide to do? She decides to go down a weight class, which is a pretty wise decision because if Sarah is going to maintain the fitness that she has and the leanness that she has, I think she has no choice but to go down. Otherwise, she's going to need to change everything to gain that strength to go up and compete with those girls.
Well, here, I'll do you one better. And I want the chat, even though I can't see the chat, y'all chime in too. So you brought up a good point. You said Sarah went down a weight class, which is probably wise. Yes, I mean, you know what? To be competitive, one has to wonder if she were to stay in that open category, you still can't get through, Gabby. You lost to Egla. You lost to Jocelyn, which means if you can't get those three, are you even sniffing Barbora? Probably not, right? So from a competitive standpoint, you have to wonder, okay, what benefits me so I can get some wins underneath my belt, or so I can be competitive. Maybe I do drop down a weight class. And it's not about her being scared or anything like that. I don't think it's that. I think it's
No.
that, you know what? If I want to be able to compete at a high level, then maybe I need to go ahead and do that. It's no different than somebody going up a weight class, right?
Well, it's evolution of the sport, right? The sport's evolving daily.
Yep.
People are getting stronger daily. It's not like it used to be where you could just jump in somewhere and be like, "Oh, I'm just going to show up and win." Well, it's not the case anymore. People are taking things far more serious now and pushing harder.
Yeah.
So the days of just showing up, randomly without training are pretty much gone.
Yeah. The
Hell,
other thing to
I'm even
consider
thinking
here,
about dropping a weight class.
the other thing
That's
to
trouble for
consider,
y'all.
yeah, the other thing to consider here is how just goddamn strong Jocelyn is. Like, this isn't just a matter of, she's a heavier girl, so she has an advantage. She is powerful. Like, she is power lifter, elite power lifter, powerful. So there's a
Hmm.
whole lot more going on here. And GB says to say Barbora doesn't have an advantage because of weight and size is silly. Fair. But if it was just someone off the street that was that big and that, we wouldn't be talking about it.
No,
Barbora trains specifically for arm wrestling. She uses
100%.
the gifts she has. Another example would be like
Well, Cleve Dean would be a great
uh,
example.
use
Well,
Matt Mask.
Cleve's.
Use Matt Mask. He's 6'6", I think.
Hmm.
He's got a great big long lever and he uses it to the maximum of his ability.
Huge
For
hand.
yeah, for pronation. Like his pronation is his ace. So to say that he doesn't have an advantage over, a guy like Crassie, well, that would be silly, wouldn't it?
Oh, 100%. I mean, like I said, I was going to use Cleve as an example. You could take Cleve, who was strong as an ox, but if he didn't arm wrestle and he just showed up at an event with elite level guys, he's going to get killed.
Yep.
Okay. Not to outdo you, Nathan, but where I'm going with this, you guys will totally agree, and I want you guys' thoughts. I'll bring up another person, Richard Lepke's. Had that guy not did any, like he never had a team around him for one. Okay, so there's that, and you know he was just stronger than I don't know what, stronger than an ox, brick house, all that kind of stuff, and he got by in the '80s with that late '70s, early '80s, and that stuff was strength. But as the sport, as you said, Nathan, as the sport evolved, you know, and this is not a shot at Richard. He didn't evolve with it really, So it's kind of
I
like,
got
okay, it was just
Uh,
I'm gonna grab you, stonewall you, I'm gonna hook you sideways, and you can beat 85% of people that way. He could have, but
well, I
as
mean,
the sporty, oh, go ahead.
the perfect example of that would be the match versus him and Travis.
Oh, you talking about the UAL one?
Yep.
Stand up.
Hmm. That's a
Ah, puppy,
almost looks
puppy
like a
dog.
lab.
getting into stuff.
Oh
Part
yeah.
it's part Staffy.
No,
So
you're absolutely right. It's the Travis where Travis holds him right here. Stand up, Rich. I'm gonna bust that hand. As soon as Richard let up, he slid the elbow forward, got that
Hmm.
high, got control,
I,
came back and pinned him.
I mean, if we're going based upon size should matter everything, then Brian Shaw should be number one in the world right now.
yeah.
He's
Well, I
bigger,
mean,
he's stronger, but I mean,
matters if you use it, but it's a weird argument to make against one specific match. When we were all
it's all
excited about it,
matches.
and the people that are complaining would have celebrated had Sarah won.
Oh, 100%. You never hear a question about it, right? And when the
Yeah.
smaller person wins, there's never anything about the match, except look how great the smaller person is.
Well, I mean, John's been doing that for years.
Right.
100%. And now she's got Egla.
Now she's got Egla. And if she gets through Egla, well, guess who's next?
All
Well,
fingers point. And I tell you, like I told you yesterday, Nathan, let's just say Jocelyn gets by Eglin. That's going to set up a showdown. Whether it happens this year, who knows? However, what's going to happen is that if this sets up a Barbora versus Jocelyn, all those people who jumped on Jocelyn about, oh, well, she's the bigger, she should win. I guarantee you those will be the same people that be rooting for her in her corner when she pulls Barbora. Guarantee it.
well, she'll pull Barbora this year one way or another because she's going to Worlds. So
Well, there you
Really?
go.
Mm-hmm.
So she's pulling WAF.
Mm-hmm.
It's impressive.
Yep, she'll be there. She'll be in Bulgaria in September.
That's very impressive. What else
Now,
you guys?
before we change, gears here. So Bulgaria, September. It's almost because of her trajectory. It's almost a given that she needs to win. Because if she doesn't win, then what?
Not necessarily. No, that doesn't mean she. Well, you mean with Egla,
Well,
or do you mean
no, not
Worlds?
really, because that'll happen before Worlds.
Yeah. Do you mean she needs to win Worlds?
Yeah.
No, not necessarily. Because
Okay.
you're talking. It's totally different things, right? It's super match versus
Yeah.
tournament. And Jocelyn, people. I mean, she's 4 years deep. Like she's not super long into the sport. She's only going to get better. She's only been training arm wrestling specifics for 6 months, is how long
Mhm.
I've been building programs for.
Yeah.
So like her trajectory, even if she does lose, go to worlds and lose, she's still going this way.
I just didn't want the waters to get all muddy about that. You know what I mean? Because you know how some people are. So, know what I mean?
It's not very often. You guys are going to know where I'm going with this, but it's not super often that you would see somebody training for East versus West and WAF at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, if Krasny had more
No,
East
I know
versus West
exactly. I know
matches, I'd say
exactly.
yeah.
No, I know exactly what you mean, Ryan.
Which impresses me a lot.
I know exactly what Ryan means. Jody, After Dark.
Oh, okay.
So just imagine for a second that, well, okay, we can all speculate, but I mean, it is impressive that the person is doing these things in concert. It's quite interesting to me. Jody has no
Yeah,
idea what I'm
After Dark.
talking about.
Yeah, Jody's lost.
Yeah. One
About
of
as
those.
lost as a cup of
Well,
coffee
Brian
right here.
Gabriel
So.
knows what's up.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Brian
can't even see the
Gabriel's got it.
comments. What the hell? Damn it.
Well,
Oh
after
well.
dark, Jody. After dark.
But the same goes
All
for
right.
Egla.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Barbora.
Yeah.
So I know we're kind of early about this, but we can kind of speculate for some of these. The next event that is King of the Table, correct?
Yeah, KOT 14.
Okay. Now
This card is insane, by the way.
It is insane.
it's
It's
not all released, is
absolutely.
it?
It's all 12 matches have been released. It's absolutely mental,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Let's touch on a few. I mean, you got Michael Todd
And Vitaly
and
Liletin.
Vitali,
That's an insane match.
which
And
is
it's number one contender for Levon or Hermes.
I
yeah.
got some concerns about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
do tell.
I got concerns for Michael. Now, some of you guys may know I'm a big Michael fan. I may not always agree with some of the workouts he has that, computes to the table,
Just gonna get
but
my beef stick and listen to Jody go off here.
it's just, some of the workouts he does, I don't know, for some reason, the PRs, is it really necessary to do all that kind of stuff? And does it equate to the table? And obviously, whatever he was doing leading up to the Hermes match didn't do a damn thing.
It's content creation.
Well, yeah, but
All of it.
if that's okay. Are you wasting time though? And I only say that because let's just say, for example, and we'll just throw it out here. Let's just say I'm trying to work on my hook game, right? My inside hook game, and I'm constantly doing that training and all that kind of stuff. And then it's showtime, whether it be a tournament, super match. If I don't apply that move, then why the hell am I even training that? That's a waste of time, waste of energy. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And I'm hoping that, all that stuff, I mean, because again, you can sit there and try to,
The
I don't know,
pronation
lift the
lift is a
world,
fun one.
whatever. But it's like, I really want, I don't know, it just seems like sometimes just watching that match, it seemed like Michael just kind of lost it. I don't mean like freaking out, but just kind of like you could tell in his head he lost it. I'm like, dude, it's back to the drawing board because he even said himself that, hey, you know what? Not a lot of people get a second opportunity to have a one off or a semifinal match for the number one contenders match. So, and just the way he talks now, it's like going, well, I've done all I can do. I'm thinking, what the fuck, Mike? That was not you. That ain't the Michael Tout we all know. So when you start talking like that, it just tells me that there might be some doubt. And I hope I'm wrong, but goddamn, man, you can't be talking like that, getting ready for matches of this magnitude. Or is it just me?
No, I think every time he goes into that attitude of a defeatist kind of attitude, it shows. Like I think he's a 25% different puller at the table when he goes in
Yeah,
there and it starts like he's down in the dumps or he's like joking around instead of
yeah,
being like the intense guy, because the intense guy is noticeably better. And I don't know if it's a confidence thing or what, but when he starts, laughing and joking at the table, well, it's over. It's over.
yeah. Yep. And,
Um,
and, and that's one of my fears. Like, he did that with Devin. He's done that before with other people. It's just like, dude, you can't do that. Just like
Unger
say epic.
Baev.
Yeah, you can't do that. And I'm hoping that monsters don't act like that. As far as last I recall, they don't sit there and laugh and you could do that stuff after, but it's like it ain't over till it's over. Just because
Pradeep
you're down
said,
2-0 don't mean it's done.
Pradeep said on his show that he thought Michael sounded not confident, and he was correct. Um, but then, of course, in the same show, he says that the Polish crowd made somebody win. So I'm going back to the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan here.
Oh yeah.
So it's a little strange for me. It's I think he can win. I think that his pronation lift, or the one that Devin made famous, makes zero sense to just grab a weight that stretches you all the way out to your King's move position and just sit there in King's move. Like, does that need to get stronger? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it's
He's
good
he's
though
at a
that he
point.
is working. To me, it's good to see him working center table though.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
starting
he needs
position,
that.
like making that. I mean, that's a great thing that he is implementing now into his repertoire because you can win or lose a match in center table. Like
Yep.
you can. I mean, if he can stonewall Vitaly in the center, he wins that match easily, in my opinion.
I
Yeah,
mean,
But do I think that's how it's going to go? No, I think it's going to be it's going to be difficult for Mike to get the strap for one thing because Vitaly's hand is incredible.
and he won't maintain his pronation.
No, it's going to go. He's going to
Yeah.
have to be. He's going to have to be in a king's move.
So
But
he'll be a
if
palm up. He'll be a palm up King's move, which is going to be very difficult.
yeah, but if that match stops and he does have some sort of pronation in the game, it's going to be a really bad day for Vitaly because Vitaly's not gonna. I know we've seen worlds. What was it, 6 7 years ago? Vitaly had that 11-minute match, but that he was also what 95 kilos at the time.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Now he's north of 300 pounds. He's not going to have the gas tank he once had, and in an endurance battle, it's going to be hard to beat Michael.
Very
yeah.
true.
Also, and I've noticed this over the last couple years with Michael, and it may be going on longer than that, but he's almost relegated to two moves. And I wish he had a third move because some of those moves he has, it's not a good matchup when you have somebody with a longer lever, such as Vitaly. So what I'm
Devin,
getting at
yeah.
is that when you got that long lever and he happens to shove the elbow to the front of the pad that creates that height, you know, dude, I mean, does it if Michael could just hook him in there and kind of drive down on that and chop him down, maybe that might be a lane. I don't know, but Michael's either here or it's I'm gonna go ahead and press you. And if it doesn't, okay, now I'm coming back out of here. So I don't know if it's just like I'm gonna do this to get you out here and then get that
Well, it's
pronator,
kind of like
or
it's kind of like what Neil used to do with the fly fisherman, right? He quick bump in and then come out around, get deeper on, get out on your fingers more. But Vitaly's damn hand's so big, it's going to be hard to do that.
right.
Yeah.
And that's my concern.
I mean, that's a super interesting match. So is, I mean, there's some others just killers on the card.
Give us a couple more. Let's chat about a couple more of them.
Kalyanchenko versus
Babaev.
Rustam and Todd Hutchings. I
Yeah,
mean, can Todd finally, catch his white whale? Because that's
Yeah.
essentially what Rustam's been for ever with
he
Todd.
is the Achilles.
Oh, that match is going here,
Huh.
100%.
There's a couple other ones I thought were pretty interesting. I'm gonna try.
Matyushenko versus Kalyanchenko is interesting. Dadikyan versus Georgie on the left.
Not the ones I'm thinking of.
Matt Mask and Nugo. Artur Makarov and Daniel Prokopchik.
No, still not the one.
What the hell? Jocelyn and Egla.
Then say it.
I'm looking for it.
Jesus.
Oh, okay.
Sat here listing them off. Lachlan Adair.
You're still missing them.
Who's he
There's
pulling?
one that's missing that I'm thinking of.
Oh, Ryan Espy versus Wagner.
Zoranov. Who's Georgie Zoranov pulling?
Oh, Kamil Jablonski.
That's the one. That's the one I want to talk about.
Yeah, left-handed. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the one I thought, wow, that is interesting. Because I think very, very highly of both of those guys.
I think Camille wins it personally.
Yeah,
I
still want to see Jerry and Camille. Because we never got
This is left-handed. This is left-handed, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think Camille's going to get him, eh? If Camille is as good as we think he is.
His left's better than his right, so.
Of course it is. But
he's a terrible matchup. I mean, granted, Vitali did beat him on the left. I honestly would put him.
Didn't Morozov beat him on the left too?
Is either left or right, but Morozov did beat him.
It was like last September, something like that.
Yeah, but he's top 5 in the world on the left, probably 3rd or 4th.
Yeah.
He's a scary human for anybody on the left arm. So
I think the Zoranov match, I think that guy, man, he is going to be talked about a lot in the coming couple years.
Oh, yeah, Zurab. That's a good match, too.
Oh, yeah, Zurab. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is May 17th, right?
Yes, sir.
Where is this king of the table?
This one is going... No, it's the 10th, May 10th.
10th? Okay.
Yeah, it is in Istanbul, Turkey, at the Green Park Pendik Hotel and Convention Center. We are, Jocelyn and I are flying out May 3rd.
To get acclimated, all right.
We will be there. We get there on the 4th, so on Sunday. Spend a few days acclimating, and then the festivities will begin. And yeah, right now she's in full prep. Hard training.
Yeah, as she should be.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying. We originally thought the match was going to be in June, but it's May now. So I'm trying to. So with the programming, I tried to throw a couple extra weeks in to the program. But she's moving awesome numbers right now. She's moving higher numbers now than she did for Sarah, and we're only on the 2nd week of training, and we have 2 more weeks.
I was just gonna ask you too. Now that when that match was made, my first thought was is that going to be enough time?
Yeah, I think we'll be fine. Would we have liked more? Absolutely, but with the numbers being pushed right now, yeah, she's going to be ready. She's definitely going to be ready.
All right, here we go.
What about Nugo versus Mask?
That's an interesting match. Like, I feel sorry for the table. Like, this could be worse than a Wagner Bortolato on the table, personally.
Well, because they'll both be destroying it.
Oh, exactly. There's going to be a lot of yelling at each other, and Georgian swearing.
It depends. So if one of them starts kicking the shit out of the other one, like Matt normally calms down quite a bit when he starts getting beat.
Yeah.
But he fires up a lot when he's winning. So Nugo, I think, will get fired up either way.
Right.
I think it's an incredible match. I think the winner of this match pulls Yoshi Kanai.
Oh, you put Yoshi ahead of Nugo?
I say the winner pulls Yoshi.
Yeah, I know, but you're putting Yoshi ahead of these guys.
I didn't say I put him ahead of it. I just think it's a good matchup because
I
it's
think
Can
I think
Yoshi's King's move stop him?
I think either one of those guys kills Yoshi.
They don't.
Yeah, I kind of do.
But that goes. Who would Yoshi pull next is the question.
Well, Yoshi hasn't like he pulled John. Sure, yeah, he pulled John on the cusp of retirement, and before that, he pulled Hutchings.
And that
He
was off
gave
the
Hutchings a
couch.
war. Yeah. First match back, he gave Hutchings a war.
Fair, but let's see him beat somebody in today's era.
Okay, so give him Matt or Nugo.
No,
Give him
give him
okay,
someone else.
give him the loser of Matt and Nugo.
Are we talking
Okay.
231, right?
Yeah,
At
105. Yeah.
231.
Give him the loser of Matt and Nugo. That's an amazing matchup.
Man, I don't think so. I think either one of those guys goes through Yoshi, unfortunately.
But if that
I think
match
Matt does it a lot.
stops,
I think Matt does it a lot easier just because of styles.
if that match stops, though,
Okay, but I mean, you can say that about a lot. I mean,
that's true.
you know, that's the story with Levon every time he pulls. If somebody can stop him, and you saw what the crowd did when he got stopped just for a second.
yeah, but are we talking about the Devin match? Because
Yeah,
it seemed like it was more impressive when Hermes did it.
fair.
Yeah, I mean, Hermes did it multiple times. That's why,
Yeah. So I mean,
not
there
just
is
once.
that gap. So
And that's going to be an insane matchup too in June.
Yeah.
I still think one of the best matches on the card that's not getting enough love, personally, is Makarov and Prokopchuk
that for the belt.
Yeah, that's a good match.
at 77 kilos. I mean, it's going to be an absolute hook war. Same way as Machuchenko and Kalyanchenko. That that match is going to be awesome.
Right. Well,
Um, it'll be interesting to see Lachlan back after his
yeah.
last performance. Paul Lynn and David Samusha, that
Somebody was just,
rematch.
that's a good match too. But Justin was just suggesting Yoshi versus Paul Lynn at 95.
Ugh,
Can Yoshi get down to 95?
I think
I don't know.
probably
I think he could.
Yoshi.
You know,
The first time I arm wrestled or I saw Yoshi arm wrestle was at the Worlds in Thunder Bay, and he was pulling the 176 class.
I had the pleasure of meeting and hanging out with Yoshi in Arlington. Genuine human being, awesome human being.
Yeah. Who's Lachlan pulling?
Um, I can tell you. Hold on.
Then we could talk about the John Terrian post.
Oh yeah,
What?
I'll tell you. Give me 1 second. I think Georgie Tatiev and Zarab is. I mean, you couldn't have polar opposites matchup. You have pure inside, built like a tank versus a long, lanky top roller. Petro Makarit versus Lachlan Adair. Petro's a
Hmm.
bad dude. And Georgi Svetkov won his first match back left-handed, drawing Dadikyan after what he just did to Kurdecha.
That's going to be
Yeah.
interesting too.
That's scary for Georgie.
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
I mean, there's a lot of just insane matchups.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Want to touch base on John Terrian's post?
go for it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
grab something.
He said something about reaching out to Ryan Bowen. He somewhat accepted a match. What's everyone's thoughts on that? Uh-oh.
I have a thought.
I don't particularly care. That's why are I don't understand why people are still calling out Ryan Bowen.
I have a thought. You know, John has Coach Ray in June at Arizona State. Love
Yeah.
John to death. John needs to slow down a bit, in my opinion. Seems like every 2 weeks he's taking a super match. Love John to death, but take a couple months. You know what I mean?
Now, are you saying that because it's I see it like this, 50-50, because it's nice to get your name out there. You know, you're not ducking nobody. I mean, from an arm wrestling standpoint, that's probably one of the most respectable things you can do
I
is you don't
agree.
back down from nobody. However, are you ever 100% going into these matches?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Take a couple months, train up, train hard, you know, heal up any little nagging things you may have, and then come out and make a statement. Because whether people want to admit it or not, that match with Craig Tullier, yes, John lost 3-0, but he was in that match.
There you go.
You know what I mean? John was very much in that match with Tullier. I mean, the first start, Tullier's wrist did this,
Hmm.
you know? So it was very, very close. I mean, yes, Craig won 3-0. Congrats to Craig. Love Craig to death. But John was in the match. And everybody thought it was just going to be a complete whitewash.
Now,
Craig was going to
that
go
match
straight through
was
him.
in that match was what, 2 weeks ago now?
2 weeks prior to the Magda match, where he went and pulled in Poland. That's what I'm
Yes.
saying. That's a lot. Like that's your arm can't be 100% after pulling Craig Tullier.
Well, I mean, I'm curious because later this summer I have a back-to-back weekend match and matches. So I'm just
I'll
curious
give
how
you
this is.
I'll give you a great example. Danny Gillian.
Hmm.
Dude just pulled 6 weeks in a row, 6 weekends in a row. I can tell a big difference from Danny before he pulled his first match, his first tournament, to after he pulled his last tournament.
How old is Danny?
60.
How old is John Terrian?
I don't know,
Like 25?
20,
20 something.
maybe.
But I'm just saying, like, I know Danny when he's trained up, and I know Danny when he's pulling consecutive weeks like that. It's very taxing on the body, no matter what age you are.
Yeah, but I mean, John, he's not pulling week back to back weeks.
But he's
Occasionally
pulling,
is, but he's pulling a lot, and he is, maybe he's got it dialed in, man. Maybe he's just like if he
maybe I
was
could be wrong.
hurting, why is he calling people out?
It's almost to a point where there is no training in between. Like
No, it's
That's what
just
I'm
after
saying.
rest.
Toulier, there's no training really because there
I'm
is
probably
nothing
after
here.
pulled.
Here, after he pulled Craig Toulier East First West, there is nothing he can do physically that's going to make him that much more stronger, gearing up for
No.
that match in Poland. Strength wise, no, you know.
The most I ever did when I was a young man was 3 tournaments in 4 weeks, and it was a lot. Yeah, I probably could have handled it if it was spread out every 2 weeks at the time.
I mean, hell, I was cooked at Winter Blast. I pulled a super match Friday night, pulled 3 classes in the tournament the next day, all on one arm. So I was toast, but
Yeah,
still.
like I said, love John to death. Want nothing but the best for him. I would like to see him, between now and his match with Ray, which is in June, June 7th, just hammer training, come into that match ready to just run through Ray, and then look at another match possibly like August. You know what I mean? September.
Unless there's another Mac event, he'll probably pull that too.
We'll probably do that. Maybe do arm gods. Maybe Knuckles
But
Up will give him a call for Knuckles Up 6.
Knuckles up.
Well, they're not gone yet, Jody.
No, I know that. I'm just saying, just or what could happen is that you and I know the next elite event coming to the States, he might pull that tournament if he's not on the card.
Yeah.
yeah, that's in June.
What's that? That's the one outside Chicago, right?
I think that's the plan.
Yeah. I mean, Travis is already saying it anyway, so I
Things
mean,
are honestly always subject to change, but I
true.
think pretty sure right now that is the plan.
Yeah. So he could pull that tournament just because. And there's nothing wrong with trying to, I want to get better, I want to get better. It's nothing different than what John did at the peak of his career. How many times did John go to all these tournaments? You know, at its apex. You know, he's going to tournaments twice a month, sometimes 3 times a month, just to get better. You know, who's to say John's not going that route?
Yeah.
Some chatter in the old chat here about commentary at these events.
I don't.
Uh-oh.
I don't make
What they
that.
saying?
You don't make comments on that, Nathan?
No, it's not that. It's just like I mean,
Some
those.
criticism about Travis. I enjoy Travis. I think he keeps it, entertaining. But I tend to also fast forward through a lot of the bullshit between matches. I don't know. Who do you guys say is the best? Like, we know who the best announcers are.
Neil, to me, Neil is the best play-by-play there is. I mean, he knows arm wrestling so well, can pull. He's a multifaceted puller. You know what I mean? Gives very uh in-depth, analysis of the match, what he thinks the puller could do differently, what something to try, and it just really breaks it down in amazing terms for everybody. That's
Hmm.
just my opinion. I'm not
Mhm.
saying that because Neil and I are friends, or the fact that Neil and I have done podcasts together. I'm saying it just from personal opinion. Like, if you said, who do you want to have commentate your match? Like, if I had a match next weekend, who do you want to commentate it? Here's your list of people. Neil pick up's the top of my list.
Dude, you know, when I had anybody, I'll rephrase that, anybody, if you have Neil commentate your match, that's when you know you feel like he makes you feel like you're one of the elite. You could be a Joe Schmo or whatever, one of the top guys in the
Yeah.
sport. He commentates your match, then it's exciting because you can have a no-name person compete, and if Neil's doing your match, then you know he gets eyes on it. He makes the crowd interested in, man, who is this guy? Neil knows a lot of backstory about this individual, whatever the case may be. He has a knack for that. So yes, I agree, hands down. When it comes to play-by-play, I like that. I do like the team of Travis
Bowen's
and
good.
Neil.
Bowen's really good at it.
Hmm.
Bowen is extremely good at breaking down matches in a color commentary sort of way. Like,
Yeah,
phenomenal.
I would agree with that. He's got a good voice for it.
Mhm. Ray's good. Coach Ray's good.
Yeah.
Giannis's technical analysis of a match is amazing too because he's such a good, arm wrestling, mind, right? Ingen has an amazing mind too. Like, he can look at matches and break down a match analysis well as well.
Man,
Hmm.
if I was available in July,
What?
But still the top of my list is Neil.
Hmm.
hands
100%.
down.
On
Uh,
the on the
apparently,
commentator Mount Rushmore, it's definitely Neil.
our sport's too young to have a Mount Rushmore yet.
Of play-by-play analysis, well then I guess the A1 is Neil Pickup, then in my opinion, if we're going that way.
But it's
Hmm.
also, not only that, it has to be the knowledge, and that covers the breakdown and all that kind of stuff, which those guys are good at. But you got to have the voice. You got to have the excitement because if the announcers get excited, the crowd gets excited, the people watching get excited. If it's monotone, then it's like, oh, okay. You got to throw in a joke every now and here and there, throw in a joke, whatever, to kind of get people to grasp. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. I think Travis is right up there for me. I don't. I do not agree with a lot of the comments in um, the chat.
Uh-oh.
So who
What
would
they
so who
saying?
would you put up there? Who would you put as your number one?
Hmm. Well, Neil's got to be up there. I mean, Travis, Bowen. Uh,
Derek Smith's not even that bad.
I need to see
if I were
more,
to pick
Derek, though.
four, if I were to pick, it'd be hard for me to pick four. I got three for sure.
You got Travis, Bowen, and Neil.
Yeah. If it was a 3-man booth, I think that would be a good one.
What about honestly, and you know, I like how sometimes Uncle John gets animated too about a match.
Yeah, fair
Personal
enough.
preference. Personal preference.
Stefan wasn't French, by the way. They're talking about Stefan Mueller. Stefan wasn't French. He speaks like 7 languages.
Mm.
Yeah.
And he even did interviews with the French-speaking athletes, Jocelyn and John Terrian, in French too, that are getting put out for the French-speaking audience.
Yeah. What else we got, guys? What do we want to cover before we get off here? We got about 10 minutes left.
Ooh. What's next for you guys? I know your path, Mr. Nathan, that you're gonna like, you know what? Am I allowed to say it?
Yeah, no, not yet. But I have one more. Well, I have 2 more now. I have one in June. I have 2 more commitments this year for reffing, just 2, and then I'm taking a sabbatical from reffing for a while, and I'm gonna have to show people that I actually do arm wrestle and set some
Did our
people up.
number did our numbers just dip? Now I just got notification Travis is on with England right now. Did our numbers just dip?
No, they're stable. They might
They're
now that you
stable.
said that, though.
We love you guys. Stay with us.
So
Yeah.
that's my thing. So I have some big plans towards the end of the year. Uh,
Yeah.
and yeah, so
Jody, what do you got? What's next for you?
I am dropping a weight class. Like we talked
2?
about with uh
he's going to 100 kilos, 220.
yeah.
You got to look a
You know
lot
what?
more
When I
like
worked myself, when I weighed in at that arm guys, I weighed in at 223.
you got to get looking more like your T-shirt, just shredded.
Yeah. You know, yeah, exactly. I gotta, yeah, you know. Um,
If
but
Jody's
yeah,
going to 85, we're going right-handed, Jody. If you go to 85, I'll pull you to 85 kilos right-handed.
I need some
85.
stem.
Oh my
I need some
god.
stem cells. No, then I'll be a big bobblehead. I can't be, you know. But no, I
That
mean,
15
I
kilo
think for
cut would
me,
suck.
it's time to, you know. I love pulling the heavies, and just because, you know, I just love doing it. It's a challenge to me. But now it's like, okay, what am I actually doing now? Are you getting any kind of gratification out of that? Is it time to say fuck it and just drop down a weight class and go, okay, let's just whoop everyone's ass, or whatever the case may be? So I think it's that time. My next tournament is in July, July 19th to be exact, Mexicali, and I'm gonna go there and just fucking put the
Run
boots to
over people.
everybody. Fuck
What
it,
about
you
you?
know,
What
more.
about you, Ryan? Ryan's wondering what we got. What's Ryan got?
What do I got? I'm
When's
refereeing
your
the refereeing the provincials on May the 2nd and 3rd. So I think we're doing the ref clinic on the Friday night and the refereeing all day the next day.
So you're not pulling provincials?
No, I don't generally pull provincials. Um,
What the hell?
I will be going to the Nationals in July in Regina, Saskatchewan, to referee the entire event, both days.
Wow.
And then I will be. What the hell?
I was going to ask you, do you think this Nationals will be as big as last year's Nationals?
No, no chance.
Because that Nationals was insane.
Well, I mean, Quebec is the huge numbers. So, I mean, it was set up to be a huge Nationals. There won't
And
be
where's Regina again? Is that Saskatchewan?
Saskatchewan, yeah.
Okay.
Well, 4 hours from my doorstep, so I'll drive it. And then, what the hell is going on after that? I'm running my King of the North tournament again on October the 4th.
Is that an Arnold qualifier?
It actually is. Yeah. Didn't you guys say that?
No. No. How many inches did you get last year?
Sorry.
I don't remember, but the entry fee, it's the same venue. The entry fee will be less. and you'll still qualify to go down to the Arnold's, and hopefully the ship is righted in that department, and we see a nice big event happening down there. And we have a couple of knuckles up events in the meantime, so we'll see what
All right.
happens. As far as competing goes, I have zero plans, but I'm just doing some other things and prioritizing some other things, and you never know. Maybe that 275 class is going.
Really? I got one in San Antonio, May. I'm going to Louisiana on June 7th. Yeah, I have a lot coming up in the next couple months.
Yeah.
A lot. And hopefully Bulgaria in September. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. A lean version. Yes. Coming up.
yeah.
We're on the same
Lean.
page, Jody. We're on the same page. I won't
Well,
give any
not to
updates
mention-
here, but
Leroy Walker, from what we heard, won against Saray.
yeah, he did. Yeah. Someone had asked who won between Don Underwood and Brandon.
I don't know who
Ooh.
won that one. Who did win that one?
I don't know.
Hmm.
That would have been
I have no clue.
that would have been
That's
nice to know.
That's a good match. All right, guys,
Okay.
you ready to go dark?
Dark.
All right.
99.95.
All right. So long, everybody. We'll probably be back next week.
I'll be back from a 4-day trip. So yeah.
There you go.
Yes. See y'all.